Most Christian money videos lie to you politely. They tell you, if you just apply biblical principles, money will follow. I applied them. My faith grew. My debt stayed. That's when I realized something most people don't want to hear. The Bible doesn't reward intention. It rewards obedience with structure. Stay till the end, because habit 2 is where most people realize why their debt survives prayer. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us aren't disobedient. We're just unstructured. We love verses. We hate systems. So we keep repeating this cycle. Learn a principle, feel convicted, try harder, get tired, quit quietly. That cycle kept me broke longer than poverty ever did. Habit 1, the Joseph Storehouse. Let's talk about the habit that actually changed everything first. Not motivation, not prayer points, not another financial secret. Before I ever saved money, I had to stop trusting myself, because here's the uncomfortable truth nobody says out loud. Discipline is emotional. Structure is mechanical. You feel disciplined. You don't feel structure. And feelings collapse under pressure. Every time I said, I'll save whatever is left, what I was really saying was, I trust future me more than present pressure. And future me never showed up. The Bible already warned us this would happen. Proverbs 21 verse 20. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Notice what that verse doesn't say. It doesn't say the fool earns less. It doesn't say the fool is lazy. It says the fool consumes everything that comes in. Same income, different order. Joseph understood this long before budgeting apps existed. Joseph didn't save after Egypt started suffering. He saved before anything looked wrong. That's the part sermons usually skip. There was no crisis yet. No panique. No emergency. Just surplus and foresight. Joseph didn't wait for fear to motivate him. He built a system that worked without emotion. In 2026, famine doesn't look like cracked ground and dead crops. It looks normal. Inflation that quietly shrinks your paycheck. Rent increases that feel manageable until they stack. Subscriptions that nibble instead of bite. Random expenses that show up uninvited. Modern famine is silent. That's why most people don't prepare for it. So here's the habit I installed. Nothing dramatic, nothing impressive. A separate account, not attached to my main spending app. No card, no temptation. An automatic transfer, not monthly, not when I remembered. The moment income hit, it moved first, before rent, before food, before generosity, before my opinion. And here's the part people argue with. I never touched it. Not for stress, not for convenience, not even for emergencies. Because if every discomfort becomes an emergency, the storehouse never fills. Even when the amount felt embarrassing, even when it looked pointless, even when it didn't change anything yet. Because saving last means saving never. Saving first means momentum starts quietly. You don't feel it at first. Then one day, pressure hits, and you don't panic the way you used to. That's when you realize what Joseph knew all along. Not income, not hustle. Order. And once order is installed, everything else finally has room to work. If you're saving but still feel broke, habit 2 exposes where your money is leaking silently. If this video is a blessing to you, please kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button. Let's grow together. Habit 2, the shadow debt audit. This habit hurts. That's exactly why it works. Not because it's complicated. Not because it's extreme, but because it forces you to look directly at what you've been trained to ignore. Most people don't fail financially because they're irresponsible. They fail because they never see the full picture. The Bible doesn't soften this. Proverbs 22 verse 7. The borrower is a slave to the lender. We read that verse and think of obvious debt, loans, interest rates, banks. But that's not how modern slavery works. Modern slavery doesn't kick the door down. It doesn't demand everything at once. It doesn't feel dangerous. It whispers, just $10. You won't feel it. Pay later. Free trial. You deserve this. That's how it got me. I wasn't enslaved by a bank. I wasn't drowning in one massive loan. I was enslaved by convenience. Music subscriptions, I barely noticed. Streaming platforms, I told myself I used to relax. Apps that promised productivity. Tools I might need someday. Services that felt small enough to ignore. Each one was defensible. Each one had a reason. Each one felt harmless. But slavery doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be constant. Every month before I touched my money, pieces of it were already gone. Not stolen. Assigned. Assigned to decisions I forgot I made. That's the part people miss. Shadow debt isn't dramatic. It doesn't scare you into action. It slowly normalizes pressure. You stop asking, why is money tight? And start saying, that's just how life is now. Jesus warned about this exact mindset. Luke 14:28. Which of you builds without first counting the cost? We quote that verse for big decisions. Marriage, business, ministry. But Jesus wasn't talking about scale. He was talking about awareness. Counting the cost means seeing the entire structure, not just one piece. So I ran what I call a shadow debt audit. No ops, no spreadsheets, no budgeting aesthetics, just honesty. 3 columns: productive, neutral, convenience. Productive meant it directly produced value. Not potential value, not emotional value, actual value. Neutral meant it didn't help much, but didn't hurt yet. Convenience meant it existed to reduce friction, boredom, or discomfort. That's it. Then came the hardest part. One question. No excuses allowed. If this disappeared today, will my life actually suffer? Not feel awkward. Not feel annoyed. Not feel slightly uncomfortable. Suffer. That question changed everything, because most things didn't survive it. Not because they were evil. Not because they were sinful, but because they were unnecessary. And unnecessary things quietly become masters. So I canceled one thing immediately. Not as a challenge. Not as a cleanse. Not as a dramatic reset. Immediately. No, I'll think about it. No, after this month. No, once I'm more stable. Right then. And here's what surprised me. My bank balance didn't change at first. My mental load did. It felt like static disappeared. Like a background hum I didn't know was there went silent. Because debt doesn't just steal money. It steals attention. Every recurring charge occupies space in your mind. Every obligation pulls energy before you wake up. Every small payment fragments focus. You don't notice it until it's gone. Attention equals energy. This is why discipline feels impossible for so many people. Not because they lack willpower, but because their attention is already owned. And whatever owns your attention controls your behavior. If you've ever felt like you're trying hard but still not moving forward, Habit 3 explains why doing the right things quietly accelerates everything. Habit 3, invisible giving. This habit has nothing to do with amounts. Not how much you give. Not the percentage. Not the number that feels impressive when you say it out loud. It has nothing to do with generosity as a performance, and nothing to do with whether people would clap for you if they knew the details. It has everything to do with ego, and that's uncomfortable because ego rarely feels sinful. Ego doesn't feel like rebellion. It feels reasonable. It feels mature. It feels like responsibility. Ego sounds like transparency. It sounds like accountability. It sounds like I just want people to understand what I'm doing. And that's why this habit is so dangerous to ignore. Quiet giving, quiet saving, quiet discipline. No group chat updates. No imcutim expensas. No subtle flex disguised as testimony. Not trying to look wise while still becoming disciplined. And this is where people misunderstand the habit. This isn't secrecy. Secrecy hides because it's afraid of exposure. This is stewardship. Stewardship stays quiet because it's busy being effective. When no one is watching, There's no pressure to impress. When no one is watching, there's no need to rush results. When no one is watching, you're free to build slowly and correctly. Joseph didn't announce the storehouse. He didn't live stream preparation. He didn't explain the strategy. He filled it. Jesus didn't publicize obedience. He didn't seek validation for discipline. He trusted the Father who sees in secret. And Scripture is clear about this pattern. What grows in secret lasts in public. Momentum loves privacy. Systems grow faster without an audience. Discipline compounds best when it's unobserved. So here's the action, and it's deliberately small. Do one thing today. Cancel one subscription you no longer need. Set one automatic transfer that removes willpower from the equation. Keep one financial move completely private. No post, no announcement, no explanation, just obedience with structure. Because habits outlast secrets, and silent progress is fast progress.